What is going on, beautiful people? It's your boy Blue, and today we have a non-stop 14-hour ultra long haul flight to Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. This is the third flight for the Formula One Logistics World Tour, where we have been virtually transporting various high priority cargo for each Formula One event. F1 cars, Pirelli tires, Ferrari and McLaren upgrades, or whatever is needed to make these race weekends happen. We are transporting it between the 23 Grand Prix destinations on the Formula One calendar. But of course, I'm not doing it alone. So far, we already have 50 pilots signed up to help us on this tour. And if you would like to join us, there's a link in the description that will take you to our new F1 World Tour website that explains exactly how to get started. So we got a long way to go, so let's get started. All right, we are in the flight deck of the famous, the Queen, the 747-800, the freighter in Microsoft Flight Sim. And let's go ahead and get this aircraft powered up and on for our 14-hour flight. Starting off with the battery coming on. And external power 1 and 2. Standby power auto. Everything else there is plugged in for us. We'll go ahead and jump right into the APU then and go to the start position on the APU and wait a little while for the APU to power up. While it's doing that, we'll jump down here, get our nav lights on, beacon light, make sure that is off until we start to move. The logo light on, not that we need it right now. Go to FMC, position initialization, and currently we are in Jeddah, where we left off in part 2. So Oscar, Echo, Juliet, November. It's our reference airport. And we'll click on our GPS right here, position, and set that as our IRS position. And then go back over the route, and the IRS will start aligning itself. Now we can go ahead and import our flight plan in from dispatch, aka SimBrief, and we'll go to request send. I've already sent my flight plan in. There it is, route 1 uplink is ready. And now I will go to load, and that will load our entire flight plan from Jeddah here in Saudi Arabia all the way to Melbourne, Australia. But I don't trust it. So we're gonna go through every single waypoint and make sure they are correct, because a lot of our flights tonight or today is going to be, I'm not gonna be here to watch it and monitor it. So I wanna make sure the aircraft does not go astray in the middle of our flight plan.
Runway 34 center for departure. Runway 34 left. 34 right for arrival. Transition level flight level 150, surface 1010 degrees. 5 knots. Time okay. Temperature +21. Dew point +12. QNH 1013. Acknowledge information 8 is Bravo.
Jeddah Tower, World Express 116, looking for IFR to Melbourne with information Bravo.
World Express 116, Jeddah Tower, USA. UK to destination Melbourne by the Echo 1 Whiskey departure, runway 34 center. Air score 6000 feet, squawk 4562.
Cleared to Melbourne via the Echo 1 Whiskey departure, 34 center, 6,000, our initial climb, squawk 4562, World Express 116.
World Express 116, read back correct before the start. World Express 116, thank you, stand Bravo 29, push start approved, face west on Kilo 4.
Pushing back, facing west on Kilo 4, World Express 116. Alright, brakes release, clear to push, tail to the east. Let's go. And we're in a bit of a hurry to get off the ground. We're running a little bit behind schedule. We're trying to land in Melbourne at 11 a.m. local. And it's currently 1 p.m. or right after 1 p.m. Local time here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So we're flying all night long. Or I'm not sure if the sun's gonna stay up or not. That's one thing I am a little bit curious about. All right, we are pushing back. Fuel pumps are all on. APU is running, and we'll start 4, 3, 2, 1. Starting with 4. Engine 4 starting up. All right, good start on engine 4. 3, 2, and 1. We'll set our auto brake to RTO. We're good up here. Weather here in Saudi Arabia. Information Bravo. Information Charlie is now current. Departure 34 left. Let's see, QNH 1012. There we go.
Walters 116, taxi via Kilo 4, Hotel Delta, Hotel, hold short 40 point Hotel 1, runway 34 center. Runway 34 center.
Alright, here we come up to Hotel 1, and we're gonna need all of this runway. We're gonna be nice and heavy today. Alright, runway 34 center, clear for takeoff. World Express 116. Let's go, guys. Toga. Holding the brakes, we get all that takeoff power. Brakes release. Here we go. She's heavy. B1. Rotate. Pause brake, gear up. All right, we're passing to 3,000 feet now to go up a notch of flaps here. Still flying it by hand. Pitching about 15 degrees. Doing 232 knots. Now passing 4,000, beautiful view. I mean, it's just a clear day out here. And all right, there we go. Look at that. We are at our cruise level, flight level 310. That is 31,000 feet. The aircraft is now picking up speed. We'll stay here at this altitude for quite a while. Go ahead and put our altitude barometric there into standard. We've made a full 180. We haven't gone far. We basically went out for the departure, made a 180, and now heading about directly south, but just off 180 heading right there on our right wing, way out in the distance. Probably can't see it from this view, but it is Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, just out there. So we just made a 180 and now heading back south, and then we'll make a left turn to head to the east off to Australia. But this is the part of the flight where we really just have to really, you know, appreciate and enjoy the scenery, because the majority of our flight today, 14 hours, actually a total of 14 and a half hours to Melbourne, Australia, is going to be over water, most of it. We'll probably only spend a total of 3 hours over dry land. So I really have to appreciate and just soak in all of the scenery that we can get throughout this departure phase of the flight. Basically be flying east over India, or no, sorry, not India, Saudi Arabia. until we jump back over the water, and from there we'll be over the water all the way until we get to South Australia, pretty much. Wow, wow, wow. Are you seeing this out the window right now? Like, this right here is exactly what this tour is all about, is getting the chance, getting the opportunity to fly to some places that I would never have chosen. Out here, like, I mean, look at this. This is so unique and just interesting to look at. I don't even know what it is. It's just like sand dunes. It literally looks like waves of sand. It's so interesting. We're out here right now, southern Saudi Arabia still. You know, thankfully we're still over land. Again, we'll be over water for a long time, but just this flight over Saudi Arabia and out of over Oman, it's just been so nice and so interesting, so different. We're getting a little bit of cloud cover as well coming up in the distance too, so it's just so unique. And again, just one reason why I love doing this tour idea, and I definitely encourage other people to join us, or even do your own types of tours. You don't got to do my tour. Just do some type of tour that kind of encourages you to fly places that you would not normally fly to, outside of your comfort zone, outside of your hometown, your home country. And I always promote that. I always try to push people to try to branch out, go outside of your box, try something new, try a new plane, try a new area of the world. And that's what this tour is all about, is flying around the world to different places, obviously for the love of racing, of flight sim and Formula One, but at the same time it also encourages us to fly to some areas and fly some routes that we wouldn't normally fly. And so far, I'm really enjoying just the beginning of this flight, and we're not even anywhere near where we're going today. All right, we still have a while until our top of descent, but you know what? Let's talk Formula One. That Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Red Bull once again ran away with it. But super proud of Aston Martin and Alonso. I'll tell you this, I am starting to change my perspective and my thoughts on who I'm rooting for this year. Now, I know I said I'm not a bandwagon person, and I'm not. I'm still, I'm still a McLaren fan. I'm still rooting for Mercedes. I still want them both to progress, but it's looking like we're not going to see any major developments from McLaren in this season. And as far as Mercedes, I think they are where they are. I know there's a lot of talk about them rebuilding and kind of designing a brand new car, and I think that's the best move. I was kind of thinking that myself. I'm like, you know what, this is not looking good. Like, the direction you guys have gone with this season's car just doesn't look promising, and it's shown that it's definitely not improving. So the best thing to do, what I could think of, and I do this personally all the time when I'm designing any kind of thing, is I go back to the drawing board, start all the way over. So Mercedes, I think that's going to be the best bet for them. The biggest question is, how long is that going to take? Like, how long is it going to take for Mercedes to kind of get back to where they're supposed to be? Are they going to end up like Williams, where they once were a championship winning team, and now they're the back of the pack? And many other teams have been just like that, where they, at one time, a lot of the teams on the grid were F1 champions. They were on top of the world, and now you see them in the back. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen to Mercedes, but right now it's looking like it might happen to McLaren. McLaren is falling back quickly. So anyways, I'm still rooting for those guys, but in this season, I'm changing kind of like who I'm pushing for like championships and whatnot. So obviously Alonso is definitely a favorite. I've always kind of liked Alonso and wanted him to do good. He just has not made the greatest decisions on the right teams to join. But this time, Aston Martin, I mean, it's crazy. If you think about last year, let's talk about Australia. Last year in Australia, horrible race for Aston Martin. I think they had multiple wrecks within that race weekend. And then they come back this year from being one of the worst teams last year to being one of the top three teams in Formula One this year. What a turnaround. What a change. That's a huge difference. So definitely loving that story, and that comeback story is just pretty amazing. I think I'm not sure if Alonso can win a championship, but I would not be upset. Matter of fact, I'm wondering if Alonso, you know, if the crazy would happen and Alonso wins a championship this year, do you think he would retire, or would he just try to keep pushing on and try to go for like another? Now, I don't know about that, because Red Bull right now is looking mean. I mean, they are like literally a whole second faster than the next team per lap. And so I think what the real story, and I think one interesting thing I'm going to be following along with, is the Checo versus Verstappen story. Now, sadly, they're both Red Bull, but they're in the same machinery. They're in the same equipment. And Verstappen won the last 2 championships, and Checo has won 0. And I think he wants to compete for that. And you can already tell there's a lot of tension happening between Verstappen and Checo, and I'm liking it. I think it's going to be really good to follow. It's going to be entertaining, and it's going to finally get some drama, because I think it's going to be pretty boring. The battle for, you know, third is going to just, you know, it might be, you know, it might heat up between Aston Martin and Mercedes, and I think Ferrari is still going to be around. I think Ferrari has the potential to still do some good. I think Ferrari will win some races this year, but the battle between Checo and Verstappen is going to be interesting. And for that reason, I am rooting for Checo. You know, I'm not big on rooting for Red Bull. I've been kind of rooting against Red Bull. But I'm basically just rooting against Max Verstappen. That's really what it is. I'm not a Verstappen fan. I respect him. I think he's a great driver. I think he is one of the greatest drivers. But I'm just not a fan of him. And so I'm rooting against him. I'm rooting for Checo this year. He is my pick for this year's World Championship, and I want him to win. I want him to win. I don't know if he can beat Verstappen. Verstappen is a monster. Checo is going to really have to dig deep and get out there and do it. But I'm rooting for Checo to be consistent and come with those wins in those quick laps throughout the year to finally beat Verstappen. I'm hoping it'd be close, no matter what. Even if there's a 100 point gap between second and third place in the Drivers' Championship, if we could just get Verstappen and Checo to be close to actually have a title fight and not be just a upset or a blowout, I'll be happy with that. I'm cool with that. I just want something to save this season, because right now it's looking like nobody can beat Red Bull, but you never know. If you're new to Flight Sim or Microsoft Flight Sim or even my channel, you may wonder, what are you going to do for the entire flight? Well, the way that Microsoft Flight Sim works is that it is one-to-one scale. So if it takes 14 hours to get somewhere, it's going to take 14 hours to get somewhere in the simulator. So I'm not using any kind of a time warp or time compression. We're gonna do this completely 100% in real time, and hope for the best. I don't have any issues with the power going out, or there's a lot of things that could go wrong. A lot of things that can go wrong on a flight like this. Power going out, crash the desktop, losing internet, who knows. Once we get over the water, definitely gonna kick our feet up. Thankfully, I have this next level racing chair that actually leans all the way back, so I can actually sleep right in the chair I'm sitting in right now. But I'll probably just go to bed anyways, so it's all good. Anything could happen, but hopefully we make it to Australia, and we'll just have to see what happens. All right, and here we are. You can see the city lights below us. That is Perth in Western Australia. This is the first bit of land that we are seeing in the last, I don't know, 10-ish hours. We have about 3 hours to go on our way to Melbourne. If I show you guys the Sim Toolkit Pro map here, we can see where we are exactly. So again, took off over in Saudi Arabia, and then now we're back on dry land, just about to fly right over top of Perth in Western Australia. As you can see, there's a bit of weather to the north of us, and even in Melbourne, there's actually a decent amount of weather just like all around from Melbourne all the way up to Brisbane, which is going to make the race weekend very interesting. I'm kind of hoping for some rain now. I know there's a chance of rain coming up in this race weekend, so I'm kind of hoping that would definitely make things interesting to see who can stay fast in the rain. So yes, about 3 hours to go. I'll say this, the overnight portion of this flight did not go without struggle. We really worked hard just to get to where we are now. Whew. I woke up and found that 2 of our engines were down. 2 of our engines were out. We were going about 250 knots at 25,000 feet. We're supposed to be at 31,000 feet at about Mach 0.85. And so, yeah, it definitely having some fuel issues with the aircraft. I'll tell you this, I'm probably not going to be flying the 747 Microsoft Flight Sim anymore in this tour. We'll be really lucky and thankful if we make it to the end of this flight in this aircraft, because it has been a struggle. We had a struggle with departure. VNAV wasn't working very well. We got the cruise, and LNAV has worked good. We've done no problem with navigation. Just been having just random things going on, just very unreliable, I'd have to say. I don't trust this plane at all. That's what I'll say. I don't trust this plane at all. And it definitely needs some updates. I even have the salty mod on this thing. I would much rather fly the 777, to be honest with you. So we'll see, because I was planning on flying the 747 back for leg 4, which is even longer than this leg. But we'll see, we'll see. But so far, we're over Perth 3 hours ago, and hopefully we make it the rest of the way. We're in the final few hours, and hopefully we make it all the way to the end. And the next thing I am looking forward to, though, is the sunrise. As you can kind of see the hue of the sun just peeking over the horizon there. So pretty soon we're going to have us a beautiful sunrise. So looking forward to that. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Australia. Yes, we are almost to Melbourne, just about to reach our top of the descent. You can actually see the wind fans down below us as we are flying over Adelaide. Man, what a gorgeous flight. Thankfully, man, beautiful coast. It's been a long time since I have visited Australia, and I'm looking forward to our visit today. And what makes it even better, we're gonna get some ATC down in Melbourne from a friend. So looking forward to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our top of descent. I know it's been a long flight, but we are almost there, about 15 minutes away from wheels down in Melbourne. We're expecting runway 16. The weather is 190 at 5 knots. Visibility is about 10 kilometers. We might get a slight drizzle on the way in, but weather is about few clouds, about 700 feet, overcast at 1400 feet, and the temperature is about 16 degrees Celsius. Q&A should be 1009. So just sit back, relax. We are almost there. On the left base now, and we are cloud surfing. I am loving it, man. Loving it. Low overcast clouds over Melbourne right now, and it's allowing us to do some cloud surfing. We won't be descending down underneath them until we're like on our base turns, so we'll be staying right here at 6,000 feet. All right, here we are on final. Descending now, hoping to catch the localizer and glide slope, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up here. Let's go, flaps 30, gear down.
Express 116, winds 190 degrees, 8 knots, runway 16, clear to land.
16, clear to land, World Express 116 heavy. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have a bit of an issue. This is going to be a bit tricky. We do not have a working localizer. We do not have a working glide slope. We are not able to capture the ILS, which would usually auto fly us to the runway. So we're going to have to do this completely by hand in the rain, expecting to break out the clouds about 1,000 feet. Autopilot's going to come off here. Alright, still can't see the runway. Alright, I think I see just a hint of the runway lights right here where my arrow is. We are getting some rain. I lost that visual now. Again, flying it by hand. I do not have assistance from the ILS. I do have the local the LNAV, but that's only helping so much. There it is. There's a runway right there. And ladies and gentlemen, we are landing. It's a spicy one.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
Put her down, baby. Put her down. Put her down.
10.
And reversals are out on all 4 engines. There's a nose gear. Speed's decreasing. There's 80 knots. And manual braking. Here comes 60. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Melbourne. We had to work for that one. That was not given to us right there. We had to seriously work for that one. Autopilot issues, fuel issues, lost a couple engines in flight.
And World Express 116 Heavy, welcome to Melbourne. Do you have a bow preference?
Yeah, we'll park over at the Southern Freight Apron. World Express 116.
World Express 116, taxi straight ahead on Juliet to the apron.
Straight ahead to on Juliet to the apron. Thank you so much for the ATC. World Express 116 Heavy. We made it. Oh, huge sigh of relief. 14 freaking hours. Oh my gosh. 14 and a half, I think. We had to see what our final time was, but it's estimated 14 and a half hours to get here. We'll see what we actually ended up with. We'll see what our landing rate was as well. And man, yeah, I am never flying this plane again. Absolutely horrible experience flying in the 747 here in Microsoft Flight Sim. And I know people in the comments can be like, yeah, duh. But you know what? I took a chance. Thankfully, it didn't crash our sim. We made it this far. But yeah, if I ever fly this plane again in the future, make sure to immediately unsubscribe. No, but seriously, guys, thank you so much for joining us and flying along with us. I hope you enjoyed the flight. I know I actually did. I did enjoy the flight. I slept through the majority of it, but I did enjoy the journey, especially flying through Saudi Arabia and the Oman sand dunes, and then the first introduction to Australia was very, very nice. So here we're gonna park right here off of Juliet, put our flaps up. And there it is. Once again, welcome to Melbourne. Our final flight time was 15 hours and 16 minutes with a landing rate of 333, which I'll take it. I'm just glad to be here in one piece. Despite the challenges, I really did enjoy the flight, and I'm hoping you will join me in the next one. Our next flight is a 17-hour flight back up to Azerbaijan for the Baku City Grand Prix. So enjoy the race weekend. Let me know who you're rooting for in the comments. And remember, you have 3 choices: give up, give in, or give it all. You got peace, love, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next time. Next video. I'm out.